Welcome back to Kuni 2. So yeah, time to finally question people at Ding Dong Dell, see what else is going on in the town. So yeah, what do you think of the new looks for Evan and Roland?
Yeah, it'll be temporary.
I am sure that
I do appreciate my Breath of the Wild cosplay.
I am positively sure that no one will identify Evan wearing that.
The problem isn't the cloak, the problem is that he's still letting his tail out loose.
Well, to be fair,
last I checked, there are people with cattails hanging around now, are there?
What's that you say? Life under King Mausinger? Well, I don't know what it's like for humans or grimalkin.
Hey, you got a tail! Hey, God, he's over here!
Wait, did I?
He's just a furry. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's you, Shiroi. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go for your mousy voice.
Yeah.
She has one.
I don't have one.
Mousy isn't small.
I've got one.
Just do a fancy lady voice.
But for shit. No, you know what? I'm sticking with it. But for a mouse like me, things are completely different nowadays. I mean, when I was younger, we were picked on all the time.
So basically, the rats seem to be very happy about this whole situation, unsurprisingly.
Oh boy.
They don't know the truth, though.
Oh,
they probably don't know.
Go ahead.
My mother told me I should never trust a grimalkin, or even become friends with one. I think that's what all mouse mothers told their children back then.
Hey, kids, you know the doctor who failed
Indoctrination!
to save your mother? Hey, kids, you know the doctors who failed to save your dying parents? They were grimalkins, too.
Literal racism.
Go ahead.
Still, I don't hold a grudge against King Leonhard or anything. That's all in the past now. It's time to move on.
Okay,
yeah, it's
the older generation got
that.
Taking a cue.
We've already too much. Let's time to move on.
Taking a cue from Avatar: The Last Airbender, not every mouse is exactly on board with the whole "let's just eliminate all the grimalkin presence" thing. Some mice are actually willing to. Some mice are actually willing to forgive and let go, but well, obviously Mausinger is not exactly on that mindset. Right, at least not
There's
right
also
now.
a bit of muddled history in there because, as we saw in the original Ni no Kuni, the mice weren't exactly the nicest guys. So, do we ever figure out what forced mice to be in the sewers in the first place? Like, was there some
just oppression in general? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to just go with the cat and mice are natural enemies. So obviously, there's going to be. You wouldn't either. I've seen the way the grimalkin used to treat us mice.
Did it have to do with the food chain?
Now we're finally getting what we deserve, and it's all King Mausinger's doing. He's our hero. So yeah, this isn't one that doesn't think quite like the lady. Let's check what other people think. Remember, Evan's primary goal here is he wants to really grasp the situation of Ding Dong Dell and whether or not his father was as good of a king as he thought he was.
Oh, can I voice this one?
Go ahead.
King Mausinger's policies are putting mousekind first at last. They've given us all a real boost.
Yep. Were you in a great depression beforehand?
I suspect the grimalkin aren't too happy about it all, but still.
Let me guess. Eggs and omelets.
They've had their time in the sun. I think we've all suffered enough. I think it's only fair that the tables are turned.
Mice, rise up!
You see,
much,
they've been oppressing us for too long, so now we're going to oppress them back.
You mentioned Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's like in the movie where the Fire Nation didn't want to abide by the spirits and they were feeling oppressed, so fuck you, we're taking over.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
That was only the three people.
Hold on, what's this we got?
It certainly seems that Mausinger's rule is no unwelcome thing for the majority of mousekind. Majority. Fortunately, we did find one lady who wasn't.
And why would it be? They're finally getting preferential treatment after all these years.
Well, even the lady doesn't necessarily say, oh, that she objects because she doesn't know what's happening to the grimalkins.
Shiroi?
So let me see if I've got this straight.
They're essentially happy. Is it right of us to take away their happiness?
Not their happiness, but Mausinger's happiness? Absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
There used to be the mice and rats who were discriminated against. But Now the tables have turned and the grimalkins are on the receiving end.
It's the grimalkin. There's no plural for the word. It's just the grimalkin. Lofty is very not satisfied about the situation.
I don't know. He looks neutral. In fact, his mouth's gone at the moment.
He's going full Mephiles.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lofty lost his mouth like in that scene in The Matrix.
He's learned from Sonic characters not to show their mouths all the time. There it is.
Tit for tat, eh? Folks ain't ever so different as they're the same.
You got that right, Batu.
I never thought things were so bad for mousekind.
If only you knew how things really are.
Being a prince, obviously, was never being a young prince. Obviously, was never aware of how his subjects really were badly treated. Go ahead.
And to his credit, as far as he knew, Mausinger, who was a part of his father's royal court, was representative of mice supposedly being treated equally.
Evan mentioned that Mausinger was chosen specifically as a bridge to the two species.
I wonder who may have drawn a wrench into things.
I'd like to hear what the grimalkin have to say for themselves, but there aren't exactly many around to ask.
So what to do?
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead, Shiri.
Is this?
Well, now, look at this gang of idiots.
Idlers. Shiroi, Shiroi, you're stealing Dwebs' shtick. Remember, Dwebs is the one who makes character sticks.
Well,
I'm still that girl from 2 parts ago.
Remember, it tends to be a British thing.
If you're not busy, you can give me a hand. Come here, will you?
But we don't work for you.
Well, now you do now, yeah.
You walked right into that one, Lofty.
Bloody Christ, Evan. Do any of us look like bloody mice?
You look like JRPG protagonists.
Yes, we do.
You look like
to keep a low profile.
You look like JRPG protagonists, and that means you need to help us NPCs.
What, a low profile with your tail sticking out?
I'll just say it's a deformity. Now, what exactly is it you need our help with?
Oh, so you were listening, were you? That must mean you're keen to help.
Why, of course I was listening. I've got these lovely cat-hearing ears.
This lady is very genre savvy. Also, Lofty got on top of a bench.
Well, he's got his look eye level.
He always aim for high places.
Don't be shy now. Here you go.
Thank goodness there's no wanted posters around here.
Yeah, that's something.
Well, my guess is Mausinger assumes that he's not in Ding Dong Dell, so he thinks like maybe it would be pointless.
You know, villains gotta learn that whenever you leave the young successor alive, obviously they're gonna come back for vengeance or justice of some sort.
Well, obviously.
That's why Scar explicitly told the hyenas to kill Simba, because he knew how this would go.
Your one mistake was leaving me alive.
Yeah. What's this?
Why, it's one of my famous sardine sandwiches, of course. I need you to deliver it to a grimalkin called Shadow.
Oh no, the ultimate life form.
Yes. Well, yes, you know, I also read Warriors.
Alright.
Too.
Oh, you read it as well?
I saw the movie.
Alright, Dwebs.
Wait. They made a movie adaptation off of the book series Warriors that are about cats.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, I thought you were referring to the Night Warriors.
No, I'm just referring to a book series called Warriors. Essentially, it's about these wild cats who take in a house cat as one of their own, and there's this whole organization with leaders. I can go into the details later.
You were saying, Pedro?
Alright, Dwebs. For Shadow, I want you to give him your young boy voice, but add in a brooding, edgy twist to it.
Alright.
Just for the sake of fitting the name. Imagine if Shadow was a young kitty.
Or imagine if Snake was a kid, essentially. Solid Snake specifically.
So yeah, the basic point is that this is actually one of those few rats that doesn't mind doing business with Grimalkin, and she even delivers things to him.
Oh wait, I think she's a mouse based off of the years.
Go ahead, Dwibs.
Flip, man, what are you hearing, boys?
No, Lofty. No, Lofty. You're JRPG protagonists.
Whatever you are, deliver the goods and come back here. And I see that you're rewarded. How does that sound?
Oh, my sounds very good. In fact, it's not often NPCs promise a reward.
Lofty, are you alright?
He's
done.
Well, like you yourself said, like we already noticed in the side quest webs, Lofty thinks Seven is a bit too trigger happy of accepting to help strangers. So.
Something tells me we don't have much of a choice. Alright, we'll go and find Shadow for you.
Lofty, just like you do have a choice.
Too many catfolk about, eh? We'll soon spot him, I'm sure.
No,
He's actually pretty easy to spot, if anything, because we have, of course, the quest marker. So.
Let me guess, he's like 6 foot tall.
No. He's actually only slightly taller than Evan.
Okay. That was weird.
What?
No, there was that scene with the other mousekind standing on top of the roof and the guard just looking. Oh, hello.
Wow, that's certainly a long black tail. Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to be Shadow by any chance, would you?
I wasn't doing anything, I promise. Have mercy on an honest Grimalkin.
Huh.
No need to panic, pal. We're just the sardine sandwich delivery boys, innit?
You already accepted it.
A sandwich? For me?
I get to eat?
Yes! Crumbles asked us to give it to you.
Yes, that's
When
her
did I
name,
learn
Crumbles.
Her name was Crumbles.
Hello.
Well, I thought these awful soldiers had caught up with me.
Huh, Tomcat breed.
Thanks ever so much.
Alright then. The sardine sandwich, which looks like a fish.
I wanted to ask you something. How are things for Grimalkin and Ding Dong Dell these days?
Again, if only you knew how bad things really are.
Visitors from abroad, eh? I haven't seen many of you lot lately, but the border's been closed down and everything.
Good
Wait,
job.
the borders are closed?
Things have been more than a little rough for we catfolk ever since Mausinger took over.
Good one, let's keep that up.
Why, I was only out buying a sardine sandwich and those soldiers started looking at me askance. I had no choice but to run, really.
So yeah, the Grimalkin who actually do have the balls to come into the surface have to be fearful because the soldiers can just, pick on them if they want.
So you came and hid here without even taking what you'd bought with you?
Of course I did. We've been chased out of our homes, driven into the slums.
Killed on sight?
No.
Most likely.
Fortunately, he didn't go that far, at least.
Well, more like made disappear without notice. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They've even posted soldiers at the sewer entrance to watch out for stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why there are no Grimalkin in town anymore.
I guess. What I really wanted was some nice fresh fish, but one of these sandwiches is the next best thing, I suppose.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Cheer up, Shadow. Things will get better, hopefully.
Anyway, I can't stand around here talking to you. Those soldiers could be along any minute.
They're right behind us, aren't they?
Fortunately not.
We're not that cliché, Jova. At least yet.
Nice to meet you. Perhaps I'll see you some other time. Goodbye.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday.
Don't know where.
Maybe even later the same day.
Don't know where.
Crikey, I suppose I better get back and see old Crumbles, eh?
Seriously, when did we learn her name?
Well, it was written on the screen, as Fair Friends Ref would say.
We read the script, Evan.
No, I see. We're psychics now.
Well, no, she actually did tell us her name. It's just that we talked over it. We talked over it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Welcome.
Shirei?
Welcome back, my lovelies. Well, did you carry out my little errand?
Since this is one of those select few rats that it doesn't mind doing business with... Sorry, mice. Okay, whatever. The point is...
There's a difference between mice and rats.
Sure. This is one of the few mice that actually doesn't mind Grimalkin. Obviously, I'd have to give her to Shiroi.
So what's with the Atlantean text over there?
It's
fictional language, Jova.
It's fictional writing for the sake of making this outworldly.
It's ancient Azran.
Oh, I see.
The lore goes this deep.
Yes,
Wait,
the level 5 gaming universe.
Maybe it's also written in Kuranese.
Kuranese, yeah. Those apples
did you
look
run
nice.
the errand or not?
The cheese must be extremely moldy by this point.
Remember, Dwebs, if there's one thing we've learned... Remember, Dwebs, if there's one thing we've learned from Uncharted 4 is that apparently in games with great graphics, the fruit is always the weakness for some reason.
Yeah.
The ugly lemons.
Shirei?
Oh, wasn't that just lovely of you? Ever so sorry to impose upon you like that.
Think nothing of it. We got some good exercise out of it.
And
Giving
some,
Can you please pay us a bloody salary, man?
and some good info as well.
Might as well.
Now, I said I'd give you a little reward, didn't I? Well, here you go.
Oh my god, an Ultima weapon!
Alright, let's see.
It's like that episode of Captain N crossing with Zelda. We just handle one piece of a Triforce, I think.
Is that a piece of Swansea Rock or a piece of
Swansea Rock?
Cardiff Pie? I don't know. I'm just making it up, okay?
If there's ever a cartoon I'm looking forward to us tackling, it's Captain N. Definitely not in the near future, but oh boy! Captain N is pretty much what all video game characters would look like if you smoked a whole Marbroil field.
Really?
Oh,
You give us the bloody
Wait.
You did it! We just delivered one of these!
I mean, I love fish and all, but...
Shirei?
Oh, you won't be complaining once you've had a bite, my dear. My sardine sandwiches are the best in the land.
I forgot that.
We might as well bloody the thing.
I forgot. Does Luffy have to eat?
No.
No, so he don't even enjoy that.
Oh, wait. I thought he does have to eat still.
Well, he's an incorporeal
Drippy,
being of some kind.
Drippy did eat, but unlike Drippy, Lofty only looks like a fairy. He's not actually a fairy.
God, the cheek of it!
Yeah, but he still does eat.
God, that cheek!
Yes,
Lofty's kind of...
And when I can recall, every kingmaker still has to eat. You know, they are living beings. They can shapeshift.
That's a thing, Jova. They kind of imply that it's for the king's bond that they get their sustenance. But anyway, go ahead.
It's kind of like Sherman's fairy.
Whatever. Until we get something concrete, I guess it's headcanons for everyone. Shadow said it was in the old sewers, didn't he? And he made it out that there must be a way down there that the guards aren't watching.
True. Shirei?
Imagine being trapped there like that. It must be like being in prison.
No, you don't say. It's got the bars and everything.
True. Alright, so just like in the first game, the dungeon of this town is of course the sewers.
See, prisons back then weren't as good as prisons are now. Prisons nowadays are places where you get free square meals a day.
You cannot risk being spotted by the guards.
You meet other people. In fact, some people actually prefer being in prison because it's pretty much... Oh god, in some ways they do get paid for the taxes.
Alright then.
So, how do you get in stealthily?
Oh,
it's a sewer.
Leaf book. Let's see. The trip of a lifetime. I recently paid a visit to the exotic realm of Broadleaf. Can you guess what this picture is of? It is a hotel. Each of those doors leads to a small room which one can just about squeeze inside. I thought it would be awful, but it was actually very comfortable.
So, parallel to some Japanese hotels?
A hotel? Can this be true?
It looks like
a giant clean kiln.
It's a pretty typical building for Broadleaf.
I would like to spend a night there. Well, nice to see Peleos is at least doing some tourism. Alright.
Did I already said? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did. I was just checking.
Yeah.
Alright, so a species oppressed. Let's go through the old well and see if we can find the grimalkin through there.
And then the guard just comes up to you and says, "Hey, no running on days beginning on M, T, or W."
Hello.
But today's
That's an
Friday.
That's an NPC for later.
Yeah.
Gosh, we're going back a while now. Whatever. Moving on. We can talk to her later
The
when
mouse equivalent of Bianca Castafiore.
we can talk to her later when we get her side quest later. This is another character from me. I have read and reread everywhere. Blah blah blah.
An academic.
Very good too. Sure.
Precious girl.
Precautious.
Precautious.
Sure. I never really liked Grimalkin, but what with all this trouble they're causing, I'm starting to really loathe them. King Mausinger's too soft, he really is. You shouldn't tolerate any of their nonsense.
Oh boy.
Wow, you're a
Lady,
big
you have
No,
such
we
a
got one
great
too.
life ahead of you.
Again, I do really like that if you go out of your way to speak to the various mice, each of them have their own distinct opinions on the situation.
Well, we don't like her.
I'd expect nothing less of a JRPG, but yeah, she's gonna have.
See, that's what I mean.
Wait.
There you go. You're just standing there, and the guy's like, "Durr."
Well, actually, I think he's looking up too, because
Yeah, but she's late again. Honestly, I don't know how she does it. If she's not checking her hair, she's forgotten a key. One day, I'm gonna get fed up of waiting for her. I really am.
Oh.
maybe you're... Oh, I get it. Your girlfriend, that bigot that we just met.
Wouldn't have. You know, I was about to suggest that. That would make so much sense.
One of my friends is a soldier, and he's been telling me that the Grimalkin are planning a big protest over the way they're being treated.
What a shock.
What a horrible bunch they are, always causing trouble. If you want my advice, you'll steer well clear of them. How nice. Alright. Alright, let's see, it's through here. Go for the Black Lapaka, and there we go. Should be around here somewhere. There we go.
Yeah, we're back where we were here. There we
Yeah,
go.
figured, yeah, if I remember correctly, I figured, I might as well check out some more opinions, why not? Some
Just like old times, the way.
Yeah, it's approximately at the same place where the old entrance was.
It's a bit more bursted, but I guess it makes sense.
Again,
years
with the
later.
centuries, the town evolved, so obviously the architecture changed accordingly. Just not too much around it.
Yeah.
A good egg. Well, this is...
A good egg. Ha 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 ha. Danger! Entry prohibited due to monster infestation.
That's right, they dump the cats in the middle of the place full of monsters.
How nice.
Oh, I thought they were referring to the grimalkins as monsters just to throw salt into the wound.
So there you go, the Grimalkin are forced to live in a JRPG dungeon.
And a
Typical.
sewer level at that.
The Old Well. Where a cast once fell? No?
Yeah, but it is actually Ding Dong Well, just with I guess the name got forgot over the time.
Alright.
It's now an old well.
Alright, so...
And what a change in quality. Instead of considering it was almost one of the first dungeons you get in the original game, the monsters were more simple and tamer. Here instead, have a bunch of high-level undeads and slimes. Fuck
And
off.
funnily enough, also in the original game, this is a more fanciful sewer. I mean, it wasn't.
Oh, it's pretty stated that this is abandoned at this point, so obviously decay and everything set in, but man...
It's so ironic, though. It used to be one of the most beautiful. It used to be one of the most beautiful sewers you'd ever see, and that's saying something.
Well, it was
Now-
it was drawn by Studio Ghibli artists, so...
I meant in that I'm talking about how it was constructed, not how it was drawn. It still looks beautiful drawn here, of course. In universe, though.
Wow,
And
that's
now it's
actually... Oh, look at that, a statue of King Tom.
Well.
Remember the first game? Go ahead, Shuri.
What's this?
What's this?
It's my great something. I think it must be a statue of one of my ancestors.
Good one, Evan. Or Jova, rather.
Yo.
Yo, Dwibs.
Anything?
Oh, we need to do the torches puzzle.
Sorry,
again.
I didn't notice.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't notice you were burped. Don't worry, we just collected some more opinions about. Basically, every rat has their own distinct opinion about the situation. Now we're exploring the well, so we can try to help out them. So basically, Dwibs, the mice have stuck the grimalkin in this place full of monsters, where they can get killed if they don't stay away from them. So how nice.
Yeah, so they are killing them. They're just not getting the blood on their hands.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shiri.
Pretty much.
You remember the Kindle spell I taught you back at the factory, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about upgrading to Amazon.
A Kindle is Amazon, though.
So yeah, just like in the
Oh yeah, that's right. Amazon viciously bought.
There you go.
So yeah, just like in the first game, the puzzles in this dungeon are all about lighting torches, Zelda style.
Tied to the statues of the old kings.
Hey, speaking of Amazon, Dweeb, sure, have Britain finally dealt with the drone deal at your airport?
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Turns out there might not have been any drones there.
Oops.
So you had an airport crisis over something that may not have even existed.
Yeah.
How even?
Shiri?
Nice. Whoever came up with this was quite the trickster. Could almost have been Zip himself.
I wonder.
Nah, I don't think it was. Anyway,
Wait, I wonder. What if it turns out that Roland's ancestor is Oliver? I mean, it would be a neat enough twist.
they were both born in the other world. Yeah. So
And time flows a bit differently from each dimension, so it would make sense also.
You know, funnily enough, it's only because of the White Witch version of Ni no Kuni that we would assume that Oliver is Roland's ancestor. However, if we were playing the original version of Ni no Kuni, we'd probably be assuming that Oliver is Evan's ancestor because in the original version, Oliver stays in Ni no Kuni.
yeah, well, it's more like they don't have a proper cutscene explaining what Oliver does after the final animated scene. They just
It's pretty much left to be assumed that, you know, he sticks around in the world with Esther and company.
That's one thing that I do appreciate about the White Witch version, because I don't particularly care much for the ending of the original, because the ending, I don't mean the actual story part, like the resolution shit. I mean the literal way it ends, literally, like the very last. It just stops.
Just them walking and having a good time.
It just stops. Whereas in the PS3 version, we actually do get a scene of Oliver returning to his world, a conclusive way where he even says, I know you'll always be looking after me, Mom. You know, a conclusive way to end Oliver's story. Whereas in the DS version, it just kind of stops. I mean,
I feel that, you know, okay, to be fair, we did have Evan's whole coming to terms with his mother's death and, you know, growing out of that. However, I can see what you mean, and like, well, I think it wasn't so much the story that felt like it just came to a stop, but more so the cutscene itself. Just as them walking away, smiling, giggling, ha ha ha, we don't even see how the rest of the kingdoms even react to it, sort of stuff. Which, you know, we technically don't need to, but it felt like it was bare minimum sort of stuff. Like, sure, you can assume that Oliver will stay in Ni no Kuni or whatnot. Now, then again, that makes you wonder how people in the real world would react to that, and that's a whole nother can of worms.
At this
Cause a paradox.
This game,
Not necessarily a paradox, because remember, sure, Shadar's dead by the end of it. Although, I forget, is there any rule about the other not being able to be in the same realm as each other for too long?
It's not that there's a rule, Jova. It's just that when it comes to the bond between Oliver and Shadar, was a special bond, because every time, because Shadar gained immortality, every time his soulmate died, it would just regenerate a new one, a new soulmate.
The flipping irony that in a way Oliver killed his own mother, since he is sort of Shadar.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes,
that would give Oedipus a run for his money.
Well, this sequel is actually a sequel to the PS3 version, because later on we're going to see the Allegoria / Nazca of this game. So
so it is confirmed. This is definitely canon.
Honestly, the conclusion that I'm getting from this at this point, at least for the game, is that yes, it's more lenient when it may be a sequel, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter either way.
Well, he said it up front. Like, you don't need to play the first game to understand this one. It stands on its own.
True.
But people who have played the first one will have an extra layer of enjoyment because they'll notice all the Easter eggs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm fine with it either way. You know, there's a place for tightly knit continuity, and there's a place for stuff that's loose enough to the point
this
where
is
you can
typical. Well, this is typical. The JRPG series. I mean, yeah, there's stuff like the Final Fantasy 13 and 10 sequels, or sometimes like where the Tales series sometimes has Dawn of the New World or Xillia 2. But for the most part, JRPGs tend to have a story per game, and that's it for the most part. Yes, we do have sequels. As in,
the only major breaking thing was recently with Berseria actually being a prequel to Zestiria. I still have to play.
You know, I'll never get this. Why make a prequel? Did you hear that?
What was it?
Is you right?
Sounds like someone needs our help. We have to get this door open.
If it helps you, Jova, Berseria is a prequel to Zestiria in a loose sense, in the sense that it doesn't...
Oh, no, I get that, Miracle. It's like with Assassin's Creed 4 being a prequel to Assassin's Creed 3. I mean, my point is...
Braziers, fuck this shit.
Okay, what's even the point of making a prequel to a game that people don't really like, unless it's already in production by the time the game's released? In which case, I guess they don't want to change too much.
That's because, Jova, after the bad reception of Zestiria, Baba wanted to basically create a game that's basically a big apology that took all the... and tried to at the very least get something out of the world of that Zestiria created at the very least. You know?
Sure, yeah, but why not make it a sequel so it moves on? Prequels just have the thing.
I haven't played the game, Jova, but if I had to give a hazardous guess, the way the game ends doesn't really set up for a sequel.
All right.
Well, obviously, I mean, it's a prequel.
I'll talk for another time. For the time being, I guess we'll see you on the next part where we'll rescue this person in danger.
Well, not just one person, but yeah. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.